Hey guys, Laowa has sent me their latest 14mm lens for Leica M. They reached out to me and sent me a copy so I can test it out. And I have not been paid to do this review, but I'm really excited to do it. I have always wondered how such a wide lens would perform on a Leica camera, and here it is. So the widest Leica M lens to date is a 16mm, which is the 16 to 21mm zoom lens. And otherwise we have the Voigtlander 12mm that was released in 2000. Laowa has released a 9mm lens in the past, it's true, but as we all know 9mm is pretty wide, and this one gives you the right perspective without any distortion to take real estate, landscape, or anything where you need to have a wide-angle lens. The 9mm that they released before was an f5.6 maximum aperture. This one gives you an extra stop of light with f4, and that is actually great when you want to take some low light or night photography. By the way, this lens has a 114 degrees angle, and you'll see in the test that I shot, it is actually pretty amazing. So one thing that I find absolutely mind-blowing is the close to zero distortion that this lens has. I am used to, having wider lenses that tend to distort a little bit on the sides, especially when you get closer to your subject. Now, this one looks natural, it looks good. Even when you're getting close, everything looks almost like you take the wide angle and you just flatten it on all the sides. Therefore, it keeps the image nice and flat. So another thing that I really like about this lens when you pick it up is the weight. Since, as we know, this is a Leica M mount lens and it doesn't have autofocus and it's not a zoom lens. Therefore, there's no moving parts inside, keeping it very compact and small. And it only weighs 228 grams. And you can imagine how cool that is in terms of weight when you want to keep your M9 or your M10 small and you want to keep a smaller package when you go around. And B, its size with only 58mm. Being used to other companies that make wide angles, such as you know, I'm a Fuji lover, so such as Fuji, this thing is actually ridiculous, not even front heavy. Fuji has a 10 to 24, they also have an 8 to 16, which I don't have currently, but I'm gonna show you here how they compare with the 10-24. The 10 to 24 is way bigger, and it is not as large as this 14mm, which is an equivalent of around 9 for APS-C. Now let's talk build quality. This lens is made of metal all around, and that includes the cap. The lens hood is small and does not come off. You put it straight on it. The feel of this lens is as sturdy as a Leica M lens, and you can be sure that it's not going to break anytime soon. One fun fact is that they put the aperture ring in the front of the lens rather than the back, and the focusing ring is behind. This doesn't change anything in the shooting experience, but I just thought to mention it. Being a lens for a rangefinder style of camera, the focusing goes up to a certain point. And when you pass 0.7 meters, you will feel a little click on the focusing ring. And that is where Laowa advises you to go into live view mode. Because if you keep shooting with the rangefinder, past that point, you will not be able to focus because you're too close to your subject. The lens structure is composed of 13 elements in 9 groups. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That helps me support the channel. Thanks a lot. While the minimum focusing distance is 27 centimeters, the quality remains really good, the distortion is practically zero, and the chromatic aberration is close to none. You're used to seeing these huge elongated faces as soon as you get too close with a wide-angle lens, even if it's not a fisheye. In this case, you will be surprised and amazed to the fact that it is not going to be like that, and it's going to reduce that distortion a lot. So I wanted to be able to test the M9. The reason is that it is a CCD sensor, so I wanted to see what the quality of the images would look like. And here are a few examples. This is quite a limiting experience in my opinion. Since on the M9 there's no live view, when you get too close to your subjects, you're not able to nail the focus. And also another problem is that you cannot see through the rangefinder what you will get from the lens. Because under 24mm for rangefinder cameras, you will need an external finder, or you will simply not see what you're taking photos of. So all you can hope is to put it on a tripod. I mean, this one is still a digital camera, so you can see the results in the little tiny screen in the back. But honestly, I would not use the M9, M8 or any previous camera to shoot with this type of lens. Now, I have used the M10 obviously, and this was a totally different experience because A, you can use live view so you can nail your focus, and B, thanks to live view, you can see what you're going to be shooting. I took a few shots and here they are. So the major pros with this lens are 1, the size and weight for the focal length that you're getting. 2, the price tag, which again is incredible for the value and the quality that you're getting. 3, the build quality. And 4, the close to zero distortion. This is great when you want to have a lens that can optically handle the sides and the distortion so that you don't have to do it in post, and it's always better to have it in camera than having to fix it later in post. So now the real question is it worth it getting this lens for the Leica M mount? I think if you're someone who shoots landscapes, real estate or architecture, for the price it costs, you can't really go wrong with this lens. As I said before, I would not suggest you use anything before the M240, such as the M9, the M8, or any of the analog cameras, because you're not going to see what you're shooting and you're not going to be able to nail the focus when you're closer to your subjects. I don't think any other company than Laowa does such wide angles for Leica mounts, besides Voigtlander, like I mentioned previously, that made a 12mm in 2000. If I'm wrong, please correct me and let me know which other companies does it. I'm actually curious about this. Would you use this lens? Is this something you would be interesting to use on your Leica M cameras? Let me know in the comment section below. I would like to know what your viewpoints are. Are you going to buy a lens like this or not? What are your views? I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you some idea as to how this Laowa lens performs. And I see you in my next video. Take care.